You want cheaper GPUs? Because this is how you get cheaper GPUs. And do you want Unreal Engine 5? Well, it's here, actually, for really reals. And NVIDIA getting kinda sued by the FTC. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're gonna be going over the hottest tech news that I can find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast. I hope you enjoyed your weekend, and we're just gonna jump right on into the news that I'm sure all of you want to hear, which is there's some hope that GPU prices might decrease, especially if you reside in the United States. And that is because NVIDIA, HP, and Zotac have all filed for exemptions from tariffs that got implemented earlier this year on GPUs in order to make it so that they don't cost as much. So let me just catch you up to speed with this. The US Trade Representative's Office implemented a tariff against goods from China. That was all the way back in 2018. However, there was a provision in there that had some exemptions for things such as GPUs that expired earlier this year, right around the beginning of January. That kind of change, which saw an increase of roughly 25% come to graphics cards as well as other products like motherboards and the like. We had companies like Asus, MSI, and Gigabyte all release updated MSRP pricing to their parts because these tariffs made it much more expensive. But nearly a year later, and with the USTR looking to renew these tariffs, it looks like potentially we might get an exemption in there. They're at least trying to fight for it. The argument that Zotac, HP, and NVIDIA are essentially giving when you read their quotes of what they've submitted to the USTR is, hey, a lot of these products that we make can't be made elsewhere, so these tariffs are punishing us for, like, it's not like we're choosing China over a US-based company. There's no US-based company that can give us either the raw materials or can be the place where we can collect all of these goods and put them together. It's a lot of different factors that make it so China is literally our only choice, and there's nowhere in the US that would be equivalent, so these tariffs would just be an impedance on our business rather than something that's actually going to promote production in the United States, so potentially maybe think about getting rid of them. The USTR saying that they'll consider whether or not reinstating the exclusion will impact or result in severe economic harm to the commenter or other US interests, including the impact on small businesses, employment, manufacturing output, and critical supply chains in the United States, and that it'll evaluate the best possible reinstatement of each exclusion on a case-by-case basis. So obviously just a bureaucratic response. But the good news is NVIDIA, HP, Zotac all fighting to get more money to their bottom line. Instead of dropping prices, they could potentially just take that 25% increase that's been there from the tariffs, not say anything, keep prices that high, and take in extra profit. Capitalism. Obviously, we would hope that they would then decrease the prices because of the tariffs increasing the prices by a significant percentage point. 25% was really nothing to sneeze at, and we've obviously seen the hit that it's done to GPU prices over the course of 2021. Even the MSRPs that we've been quoted from the GPUs back when they launched, like $329 for the RTX 3060, it's just not realistic because once you add on those tariffs, which were not factored in by the time some of these GPUs launched, like the 3080, then it becomes an entirely different conversation. But there's hope. It might be on the horizon. We'll keep you updated if this gets passed at any point, if the USTR is just like, hey, you know what? Gamers have had it hard enough, all right? No more tariffs on GPUs, all right? You get the discount, friends, to go back to the way things were last year. But obviously there was no statement of AMD in all of this. There's no report on whether or not they're trying to get an exemption passed for it as well. Obviously, it might potentially bolster their case if they add to it, but there are reports that AMD is trying to give you cheaper GPUs. The 6500 XT now rumored to come out in January, likely going to be unveiled right around the CES time, and the RX 6400, which is supposed to be the even lower version, might be coming out in March, with the report being that these are going to have 4 gigabytes of VRAM so that they're not as usable for mining Ethereum, and they're not going to necessarily be sold to miners, which on the previous article I was talking about, one of the responses I saw was like, why remove the tariffs? Miners are the only people who are buying GPUs. Might as well make the money if you can. It's not actually going to help end consumers. Let me know what you think of all that down below in the comments, and I'll let you know what I think about Sony potentially trying to compete with Xbox's Game Pass, with a report coming out that they are going to have Project Spartacus, which is allegedly going to rival Game Pass in its selection of games, etc. And I don't think it's going to be as good as Game Pass. I think Game Pass actually understands what they're doing, and Sony's just like, hey, we want in on this pie too. What do? You give out games? Okay, we can give out like PS4 games. We could do that. They're going to have it bundled in different tiers. The regular bundle is going to be the regular PlayStation Plus, where you get a couple free games plus game discounts. Level 2 is going to give you a large catalog of PS4 titles, with PS5 games joining later, which is not how Game Pass works. Game Pass gave me Forza Horizon 5 on launch day, Halo Infinite this week. I'll get it because I have Game Pass. That's one of the major appeals, is that like I get the brand new games as soon as they come out. And then the third and highest tier of Spartacus will include cloud gaming and expanded demos and PS1, PS2, PS3, and even PSP games, which goes to show that Sony only thinks that backwards compatibility is worth it if you're gonna pay them for it. Okay, you already own that game, you already have that PS2 disc, buy it on our service. Otherwise, we give you nothing, okay? We don't have PS2 compatibility. You need to do it for us. Money every month. Thank you. Not a fan necessarily of that thought. I don't necessarily think that Sony has the right motive when it comes to this Spartacus or Game Pass alternative. I think Xbox clearly had a good vision for what they were doing, is implementing it remarkably well, and everybody's just like, oh dang, that's working. Let's try to do something but worse. But in case you're a fan of something that Sony does do well, and that is potentially the animated Spider-Man movie Into the Spider-Verse, which was phenomenal. We finally got a trailer of the sequel, Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 dropping. So I'll leave a link in the video description in case you want to check that out over on YouTube. And in case you want to check out the first game ever actually made in Unreal Engine 5, go load up Fortnite, because Chapter 3 now is completely running on Unreal Engine 5. Epic Games hasn't confirmed this directly to the public, but a lot of talk is going on behind the scenes, and people saying that yes, indeed, that with this latest update of 19.00, Fortnite is confirmed to be running on Unreal Engine 5, as far as I'm aware, across all different platforms, and that it's bringing in different things such as better destructible environments, weather systems, all of the things that we're expecting to come from Unreal Engine 5. It does make sense that Epic Games would put this into their cash cow so that people could see the most eyeballs could be on what Unreal Engine 5 can do for gamers, and now it's here. Have you been enjoying the latest chapter of Fortnite that came out yesterday? Let me know. I'm gonna let you know about the hottest tech deals on the internet right now. Let's get into UFD deals. Logitech has their MX518 on sale for only $20 over on Best Buy. I have two of these. They're such good mice. I bought it for $30. $20 is such a good steal on what is like a timeless mouse, essentially. In case you're looking for some storage, MSI has their Spadium 1TB PCI Express 4.0 drive going for only $75 after a $20 mail-in rebate for 1 terabyte. That is a good price. In case you're looking for a budget gaming monitor, this deal ends in 4 hours and 44 minutes over on Best Buy, but could potentially still be available on B&H, and that's Samsung's T350 24-inch 1080p 75 hertz monitor going for $110. In case you need to keep things quiet, Be Quiet has their Purock Slim on sale for only $21.90 after a coupon code over on Newegg, in case you want to pick that up. And in case, as I mentioned earlier, storage, but actually physical mechanical storage, WD Red Plus 6TB NAS hard drive, it's going for $104 after this promo code right here. Once you add that on, and you can get the 4TB Red Plus for only $75, again using a coupon code to drop that price. Speaking of prices dropping, crypto stunks. Woo! Okay, Bitcoin down only 0.4% in the last 24 hours, but if we just look, it had a little rough Friday, just kind of falling off the cliff, sitting pretty at like roughly 56,000, dropping all the way to roughly 46,000 and coming back up to roughly 49 where it's currently sitting, but it's finally back under a market cap of $1 trillion. Bitcoin not having a good weekend at all. Ethereum not faring as poorly, currently sitting at 41.55. It did also have kind of a fall off a cliff, but from $4,600 down to 41.55. Not as big of a fall, but obviously a large percentage decrease as well. Dogecoin down 6% in the last 24 hours, down to 17 cents, also experiencing that crypto crash on Friday. The meme stonks also not having a great Friday. GameStop closing down 5% at 172.39, and AMC closing down 4.0% 0.19%. You're so close. AMC down to $29. Again, far cry from its high points previously. And this past weekend, there were actually some crypto hacks that took place. Badger DAO saying that they experienced a $120 million crypto heist because somebody was able to inject JavaScript on their website that just siphoned off some of the transactions that were happening to a secondary wallet. One of the transfers was 896 Bitcoin. My goodness, apparently this happened according to Badger DAO from a two-factor authentication bypass that happened with a Cloudflare API, made it so that people could siphon off all of that crypto. It was also announced that Bitmart lost $196 million in cryptocurrency to a hack that happened there on the exchange, with it being a clear reminder that if you have cryptocurrency, don't keep it in an exchange. Not a good place to have it because while the cryptocurrency, at least typically, usually is secure, Bitcoin still hasn't been hacked. The places that hold the Bitcoin, it's a lot easier to rob a bank when it's on the internet, my friends. That's just apparently what's happening right here. So just be a little wary. Neither of these hacks actually affected the crypto crash that happened on Friday. That happened preceding these announcements, but obviously not necessarily bolstering confidence in the cryptocurrency market. But a lot of people, when I tweeted that I lost my life savings to this brand new Bitcoin thing, the most common response was buy the dip. It's going to go back up, okay? Just buy the dip, all right? But just buy the dip and you should buy Cybertruck. At least that's what Elon Musk wants you to do. And the first version that's going to come out is a quad motor, which they haven't actually even announced yet. The only ones that you could pre-order were single, dual, or tri-motor versions. The quad motor, according to Elon Musk, now will be the 4-motor variant. That's the initial production version. Okay, great. Thank you, Elon Musk, for changing everything all the time again, which is what Microsoft's doing to Windows 11, trying to make it so it's not as sucky, which is good. It's very sucky though.
Oh, it's very sucky. It's very
They're going to allow you to actually set a default browser now, because the stupid way that they were doing it before was in a way where you had to set for every file type, you had to set what application you wanted to use it. So HTML, PDF, all of that nonsense. Now, in the latest version of Windows that you can have, there's a set default browser button that you can enable in case you want Chrome to now be your web browser of choice, but it still doesn't change everything, such as PDF, which is a little stupid, but Microsoft trying to make Windows 11 a little bit more tolerable, and Valve trying to make the Steam Deck a little bit more shippable. Them showing off the box of the Steam Deck, the packaging. Your games are going places. I like this. This makes a whole lot of sense. And then obviously it's a whole bunch of different languages, saying stuff like in a submarine, on the moon, on a Ferris wheel. You're gonna play video games everywhere. It's a great day for everyone besides Nvidia, because the FTC is suing to block the acquisition of ARM by Nvidia for $40 billion, which fine. I mean, we've seen the EU step in on this. The FTC in the United States is now stepping in with the FTC, saying that they are trying to prevent a chip conglomerate from stifling the innovation pipeline for next generation technologies. Tomorrow's technologies depend on preserving today's competitive cutting-edge chip markets. This proposed deal would distort ARM's incentives in chip markets and allow the combined firm to unfairly undermine Nvidia's rivals. The FTC's lawsuit should send a strong signal that we will act aggressively to protect our critical infrastructure markets from illegal vertical mergers that have far-reaching and damaging effects on future innovations, which they're essentially saying what I think all of us were thinking from the day this was announced. Whether or not it's enough to stop it, well, it depends on how much money Nvidia is willing to spend behind closed doors. What am I talking about? You can't buy politicians or bureaucracies here in America. That's not capital freedom. All right, let's not get into that anymore. I'm gonna end this episode of Hot News here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow for breakfast, my friends, for more hot news then. Goodbye.